What's up, Dolphin fans? Josh Clow here. And before I get into it, all you guys who were probably mad because you read the title, yes, I am making a video on why the Dolphins should not get Tua and go after a different quarterback in this year's draft. There's a lot of reasons why. Just the potential that the Dolphins probably could not get Tua for multiple reasons. A, there's rumors that the Redskins could get Tua at number 2 and say that Dwayne Haskins is not the answer, just like how the Cardinals did last year with Josh Rosen getting Kyler Murray. Or potentially, there's been a rumor this week that the Redskins want to trade their second overall pick to someone else who wants or needs Tua, like the Chargers, or if the deal's good enough, maybe the Patriots or someone who has an old quarterback and wants to get ready for the next phase in their in the franchise. So, and then the other reasons is his injury history. Doesn't He's had a lot of injuries, 3 major ones on his lower part of his body, especially this year that took him out for the rest of the season. That's a very serious hip injury. Yes, the doctors did clear him, unfortunately for the Dolphins. We cannot get a physical in due to the coronavirus outbreak. We probably won't get one in before the draft, and I think that's going to hurt him, and it's going to hurt the Dolphins as well. I think, in my opinion, the Dolphins should go after Jake Fromm. And why Jake Fromm? In my opinion, Jake Fromm's the third best quarterback in this draft. Yes, I have Tua over Jake Fromm, but Jake Fromm's a little bit different. Why? First of all, he doesn't have an injury history. He hasn't been injured like Tua. 2, his stats does not lie. I can go over it right now. 2017, a 62.2% completion rate, 2,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 13-2 record. That's his freshman year. That is a very good, solid freshman year to do. Definitely in Georgia, in the SEC. And on top of that, he led that team to a national championship appearance. He did not win. He lost to Alabama in overtime. But how many freshman quarterbacks lead their college to a national championship appearance? Not many. Sophomore year, 67.3% completion rating. That's pretty fantastic. 2,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 11-3 record. 2019, the year that just passed, 60.8% completion rating, 2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 12-2 record. Overall, that's 6,200 yards, 78 touchdowns to 18 interceptions with a 36-7 record. And the big eye-opening for me is why I do want Jake Fromm over Tua or over Jordan Love or Justin Herbert is that he does not make a lot of mistakes. Only 18 interceptions throughout his 3 years at Georgia, 5 this last year. And in my opinion, I think the turnover game is the make it or break it for quarterbacks. We already have the example this year. Jameis Winston, 30 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. One of 5 or 6 quarterbacks to ever throw 5,000 yards in a season. But he threw 30 interceptions. And that's the reason why they didn't make the playoffs. Because you throw that many interceptions, that can cost you 3, 4, 5, 6 games. That could be close games. Number 1 offense in the league, yes. But they were in the bottom half in the turnover game. And you look at Brett Favre. He has more interceptions than he does in games played. And let's be real. I think if he had dropped take away 100 of those interceptions, he'd probably win 4 to 6 more Super Bowls. Because a lot of those interceptions cost him games. And he would essentially be he would be in the debate as the greatest quarterback of all time if that happened. So in my opinion, turnover game, if you're a quarterback who throws more touchdowns than he does interceptions, if you have less than 10 interceptions this season, you're already a really great quarterback. Look at Aaron Rodgers, for example. 4 touchdowns to 1 interception. That is touchdown-interception ratio. That is fantastic. This guy has thrown 2, 3, or 4 interceptions in a season. And that's why they're so consistently good. And for a team that's never really had that great of a defense, and he carries that team, the way he slings that ball and doesn't make mistakes, that's what you want as a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is great. Yes, he is. Jameis Winston can throw 5,000 yards, but if they start throwing interceptions, then what's the point? That's in my opinion. If if you're on the final drive, you throw an interception, it's a game. Instead of a guy who doesn't throw an interception, throws a touchdown, and you do win, that's what I want to see. You might throw 20 touchdowns, but you only threw 2 interceptions, and you go 14-2 because of it. I'll take that any day. Going right over to his top 25 wins and loss ratios. His freshman year went 4-2 against top 25 teams. His sophomore year went 4-3, and then his final year, his junior year, he went 5-1, making that to a combined record of 13-6 against top 25 teams. He played 19 top 25 teams. Not a lot of quarterbacks do that. Not a lot of teams do that within a 3-year span, but he did a lot of wins. Yes, he has a couple of losses. Some of those losses were top 5 teams, like number 1 LSU, for example, or Auburn a couple of years. Alabama in the national championship, they're ranked number 4. So a lot of those were really good teams. They weren't blowouts, they were close games. But Jake Fromm, in my opinion, like I said, I think he's the 3rd best quarterback. Why? He's always been consistent. Like I said, doesn't make many turnovers. Jordan Love this year, for example, 17 interceptions this year. He definitely digressed than he did last year. You can make an argument that, yeah, he lost a lot of people. Well, a lot of people in college lose a lot of people. Look in the NFL. Tom Brady has lost a lot of people. Peyton Manning had to go to a whole nother team, and within 2 years had that team to the number 1 passing team, or the number 1 offense into a Super Bowl appearance. Within 2 years. That would make a great quarterback. To break away from that and still be productive. And that's what the Dolphins really want in the get-go, because the Dolphins have always had those problems and the Dolphins can never overcome it. Yeah, we always have a great start, and then it's just things start adding and adding and adding and adding, and they just crumble near the end, definitely in December. So Jake Fromm can take that pressure. He's already done it in college. He's seen a lot of teams, people go. Definitely running backs. He's had a different running back every year, I believe. He's had a consistent coaching staff, definitely Kirby Smart. But like I said, he's been consistent every year, and in my opinion, a consistent quarterback's always better. I'm not trying to, dog on Tua that he's not consistent or he's not that as great as Jake Fromm. But like I said, Tua does have a lot of injury. He's injury prone. Our offensive line's not the greatest offensive line. What if he takes that hit and he doesn't play ever again? That hip breaks or something like that. Gets another hip surgery. He'd never be the same. So that's why I'd rather have Jake Fromm. Also, at number 5 and number 18, you can get an offensive lineman at number 5. You can get a playmaker at 18 on defense. You already got 2 plug-in starters that fills holes. At 26, you know what? Hell, you can take 26, trade down a couple more to get more second or third round picks or get a first next year, and Jake Fromm is still probably going to be available. Now, should we risk a first round pick for Jake Fromm, even though he's probably not going to be the second? Yes. The NFL draft is unpredictable. Someone could get Jake Fromm just like that. I think the Dolphins should risk at 26, around 26 to 30 if they do go down 1 or 2 spots, because Jake Fromm is going to be the answer for the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion. I like him better than Justin Herbert as well, too. Justin Herbert, I think he does have an arm, yes, but I don't think Justin Herbert is going to be a top 10 quarterback in the league when all's said and done, or during his time. So, not saying that Jake Fromm can or won't, but like I said, I think Jake Fromm is so much better than all these guys combined. But that's in my opinion of Jake Fromm. He has a 2-2 record in bowl games. Went to a national championship. Not many quarterbacks can say that they did that in the college football. No, he didn't win, but there's only one team that wins out of so many colleges. But that's my opinion. Jake Fromm is the answer for the Miami Dolphins. They should get him, not Tua. If it comes down to it, if Tua is available at 5, I think the Dolphins should not get Tua at 5. Get the needs. Get Jake Fromm, late first round pick, and work the rest of your draft from down below. Second, third, fourth round picks, and then do whatever your 3-day or day 3. But Let me know down below what you guys' thoughts on this. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate comment on, oh, we need Tua, you're not a real Dolphin fan, we don't get Tua, blah, blah, that. This is just my opinion, like I said. Everyone has different opinions. We're not going to know what was going to happen until draft day. Like I said, I think in my opinion, the Dolphins aren't going to get Tua at number 5. I think there's a lot of different possibilities for the Dolphins at 5. At offensive lineman, linebacker. Dolphins can even trade down to get more picks. There's so much possibility, but like I said, let me know down below what you guys think, what's your thoughts on it. Who do you think the Dolphins, outside of Tua, if the Dolphins physically could not get Tua, say Tua gets drafted at number 2, who do you think the Dolphins should go after next? Do you think it should be Jake Fromm? Do you think it should be Jordan Love? Do you think it should be Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is a very underrated quarterback. I will admit he had a really good year at Oklahoma. But let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for your support. Make sure you guys like this and then subscribe so you don't miss any other videos in the future. And I will catch you guys again shortly. Thank you very much.